Hello, everyone. Welcome to join today's section. Actually, I'm the representative of the International Association of the Microsoft Channel Partners, Greater China region. My name is Aaron. I'm the president, and then I've so many good friends around the world. Today, we have some very good friends from UK and also from Hong Kong. Maybe I let them introduce a little bit about themselves before we start the conversation about the integration and influence of the AI in education. So maybe I pass the time to Vincent first. Okay, Vincent, can you introduce a little bit about yourself? And then later on, we will move to Tom and also George. Vincent.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Aaron. I am Vincent, and I am the founder of Philanthrokids. Basically, I am a business consultant in AI business consultant in ESG, in nonprofits, and also in education. So, and I know George and Tom, good friends, experts in education. So that's a little bit of my background.
Okay, thank you. So you are entrepreneur and also the educator as well. Okay, so maybe I pass the time to George. Okay, George, can you introduce a little bit about yourself?
Of course. Thank you, Aaron. My name's George. I'm a teacher by training. I've spent 15 years in the classroom and also in middle management and senior leadership here in schools in the UK, but also out in the United States. I'm one of the co-founders of Inkling, along with Tom, which is a one-to-one, face-to-face tutoring platform that's powered by AI, but delivers exactly the same experience that students receive when working with a human tutor online. And we're using that here in the UK and also in Europe to revolutionize how schools deliver lessons. And we're really excited about the fact that with Vincent, we'll be launching that in Hong Kong next week at your LTE Expo.
Okay, thank you, George. Okay, you mentioned about the co-founder. So Tom, okay, I believe that you should be more focused on the technical side. Can you tell us a little bit about?
Yeah, so I'm Tom. I'm the other co-founder of Inkling, and I'm the Chief Technology Officer. So I'm responsible for building out the AI tutoring platform. I've worked in technology as a software engineer for the last 10 years across some of the biggest tech companies and highest growth startups in the UK. And during that time, worked a lot with conversational AI. I also spent some time working as a tutor for students from disadvantaged schools and kind of saw all of the problems and issues they were facing with education, and have realized that the state of AI and conversational AI is now ready to tackle some of those problems and build deeply personalized experiences for students that can deliver them a top quality education at a fraction of the cost usually spent on personal tutoring.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so I start to have lots of the question. Actually, I do believe that not only in Hong Kong, around the world, every government spend lots of the resources to try to enable everyone to learn about AI, to leverage AI, no matter in the so-called education, the study, or maybe in their career or something like that. Okay, but there's something maybe some people is quite worried about. Okay, for the student, maybe the younger generation, they may be too rely on the artificial intelligence or maybe the chatbot using the conversation way to get the answer. Okay, I just ask a question, get the answer, and then they will have another problem is that they never think about it. They never internalize anything. Okay, so you mentioned about your AI tutor, and especially George, you have a very good experience in teaching for 15 years. Okay, can you give you some idea to let the so-called the parent or maybe the teacher, they have some way to not to manipulate, to try to relieve this kind of the concern. Maybe I pass the time to George first.
Of course. Tom can talk about how we do this technically, but the experience that we're chasing is the experience that students have with a one-to-one, face-to-face human tutor. So we don't offer up answers to students. It's not possible for them to do what the literature describes as cognitive offloading. Instead, we force the student to engage in what might be termed productive struggle. So the student will be encouraged to think about how to answer the question they have, may have additional information introduced to them if they really are struggling, but they're never given a direct answer. The whole purpose of the tutor is to keep the student in what's described as the zone of proximal development. So right on the edge of their competency, we want to find out what level they're at the moment, and then constantly stretch, challenge them to progress further. And to do that through, as I say, a productive struggle, not through us giving the answer to the child.
Okay. So Tom, you want to tell a little bit about the mechanism. So that's why we are more comfortable to make sure that there's some idea over there, but in reality, you already implement. So that's why we can make use of it.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, it's a valid concern, because a lot of the AI solutions out there are designed for giving answers, for finding solutions to a user's problem as quickly as possible. And that's something that Inkling has had to develop completely differently, because, as you say, giving answers is not the right solution in a tutoring conversation. And so what Inkling does is it's constantly monitoring the conversation and the students' responses to work out where they are in this zone of proximal development, and where they're struggling too much or too little, so that it can work out how much it should be pushing the student to tell me more about this subject, tell me why you think this way, versus giving more direct answers. So throughout the conversation, it's constantly monitoring this factor and guiding the AI tutor itself to make sure that the student is being led and challenged and not given the answers straight.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so actually, another follow-up question is talking about, because that's a different subject. Maybe there is talking about the language, maybe talking about mathematics and all those things. Okay, so can you tell me something about your solution? Which one is maybe the strongest one? It means that maybe the feedback or the so-called the outcome is the best. Okay, something maybe may not be very outstanding. Can you give me some idea about what's the strength of your product?
I think the strength of the product, Aaron, is that it looks very similar to the conversation that we're having here. It feels like having a tutoring session over Zoom, over Skype, over Google or Teams, whatever your platform is. It feels like having a tutoring session with a real human being via a screen. And the consequence of that is that we derive a huge number of learning benefits that come from social learning, interactive learning with another person. And those kinds of benefits can't be achieved by solutions that don't seek to emulate the interpersonal aspect of learning. And it's one that we take beyond the screen. So the tutor communicates with teachers, it communicates with parents about their children, about their students, in the way that a real human tutor would, in fact, in the way that an excellent human tutor would. It has complete knowledge of the student sessions. It's able to compare and contrast perfectly student performance session to session over time, communicate that back to parents, and help to leverage the real human relationships in the student's life in a way that many solutions don't attempt, simply because they're closed. They're closed to the student, teachers, parents are excluded from them. If you look at ChatGPT's tutor mode, if you look at the way that Google Gemini works within schools, there's no information about student learning, student progress, attainment, areas of strength and weakness being communicated to the parents, being communicated to teachers. So it's the attempt to emulate human tutoring in all its richness that separates us from other products in the market.
Yeah, so good. Okay. I believe that is a very important point. Okay. Vincent, I understand that you have a daughter, so that's why maybe you can give us some idea, because I believe that you are the one and only one sole distributor to take care of this product in the Greater China region. I assume that you should have a very good understanding about it, and maybe you already tried it by your daughter or something like that. Can you share a little bit with us? So that's why the other parents over there, they have some idea about how good is it.
Sure. Well, I'm not like George or Tom, like an educator or a specialist in technology, but I did learn about child psychology, and I fully appreciate the Song of Proximity by Waszkowycz. That I truly believe that is something that, if understood, then can help students learn a great deal, especially children. I also specialize in lifelong learning. So I applied it to my daughter. She's about 15 years old, and she's right at the stage to take examinations. And this is very helpful to her. And not just that I introduced to her, I also introduced to her friends, and which we found that's very useful. And I also look, while I take up this, the responsibility to promote AI tutor, I compare the other products in Hong Kong, and they were developed by ed tech companies. But to be honest, they are not by educators, so they don't have the mindset. And I think this is a big gap, because you need to understand to give something good, you must understand the mindset. So I think George and Tom, they really do a really great job.
Yeah, I do believe the empathy is very important, because we understand that what the children, or maybe in the education. So what should we do, or maybe in the past experience, we understand that what's the best way to try to engage with the young people. So that's why they have the very comfortable way to learn something, have a very smooth way to try to present themselves, or even they're working as a team or whatever, using this kind of the technology. So thank you so much, George, Tom, and Vincent, for your sharing. Okay. I understand that some idea about your product and the uniqueness and the rationale behind all those things. Okay, in Hong Kong, actually, the market is quite a little bit different. Okay, maybe your product is focused in the UK and the European countries, so that's why I use the education standard over there. And in Hong Kong, there's another standard. Maybe we are talking about the DSC, all those things. Talking about the so-called the localization, all those things. Have you encountered any kind of the problem, or maybe you can tell me that, okay, it's not a problem. Actually, you can use a simple way to convert it. So that's why the student in Hong Kong, they can also take the benefits about the AI tutor.
Yeah, so we do support the DSC exams, and when building Inkling, we are very conscious that we want it to be a global solution, and that there's vast differences between the different curriculums in different countries. And so for that reason, when we were first building Inkling, we made sure to take the path that we're going to build it as a top teacher, not of just a top teacher of the British curriculum or any other. And so this means that we've built a system that is now very capable of scaling up to a new specification. We have launched it in the DSC subjects relatively recently, but very quickly have managed to get a very high performing model that can teach these very well and be in tune to the kind of local needs within the DSC curriculum. There's often lots of exam questions or topics based on Hong Kong culture or cultural events or history, and that is now something that Inkling can offer through these courses, is the ability to have that knowledge of Hong Kong culture, events, history, and use that while it's teaching to provide the best quality experience and the experience that most matches that which students will get once they get into exams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this was one of the things that was most exciting to us. We learned quite quickly from Vincent and his wonderful team that there was a different context to the HKDSE in terms of the sorts of examples that are brought up onto the exam, from local news stories and current affairs in particular. And also in terms of providing support, even though, for instance, the HKDSE English exam is being taught in English, being able to scaffold with subtitling in Chinese, so that students can understand if they're struggling, what's going on, and also to have the ability to toggle that on and off as they require, either to receive that additional support or indeed to stretch and challenge themselves somewhat more. So yes, I think you're asking, I suppose, whether there were any problems or any challenges or any difficulties, and I suppose we certainly made a huge number of adaptations, but I wouldn't necessarily classify them as being too problematic or challenging. It was, quite frankly, a really exciting project to be able to learn more about the local context and understand and appreciate how we were going to change and adapt the way the tutor worked in order to deliver in a different region. My parents-in-law lived and worked in Hong Kong for many years. My brother-in-law went to school in Hong Kong until he was a teenager. And so I felt like I knew something, not very much, but something of the local context, and being able to work enthusiastically with Vincent and the rest of his team in order to deliver as comprehensively as possible for the context in Hong Kong has just been a great experience for us all.
Yeah, thank you. I do believe you consider different factor already, and then use different way to make sure that it's a very smooth for the Hong Kong student to learn about it. Okay, so another question is talking about, because I'm a businessman actually. Okay, mostly I'm talking about the business model. Okay, because of some of the so-called organization, they believe that it should be much better to try to promote the product or maybe the services to the school or maybe some kind of the organization. It seems that it's much more easier. Actually, in Hong Kong, it's more than 1,000 so-called the secondary and primary school. So what's the way to so-called engage with the end user? The end user, it means that the student, but of course you need to go through the parent to pay the subscription, all those things. What's your idea in Hong Kong to try to engage with them? Use different kind of the event, so that's why the parent, maybe the student can subscribe your service directly, or you prefer to have some way to work with different kind of the association, or maybe with the school together to make sure that it deliver to the student at the end of the day. What's your business model? So that's why, again, all those audience who watch this video, they can understand, okay, how can I engage with you guys to make sure that they can have a chance to use services as well? What's the business model?
Okay, I'll share with the model. This is in Hong Kong, as we agree with George and Tom, that we primarily we target schools, because they are the education providers, and they understand the importance of good education. So primarily we approach schools and explain and demo to the principals and the teachers. But while we're doing that, we also find that parents are also looking for really quality education products, and we really cannot just wait, and that's why I thinking that we proactively, to present at the expo, so that not just the schools can see the products, but also parents or students who can try them out themselves. And I think this is, and also they speak for themselves, because they like it, they love it, they're terrible about it. And I think this is more natural rather than you wait and you until the school decides to go for it. And if the students find it useful, they should have the privilege to use it. And I have another thing is we have a team also in Hong Kong who are also like very professional in educations. I mean, I'm not a teacher, but my team also have been in schools, teachers. They've been for over decades, 10, 20 years. So they are able to work very closely with George and Tom. And that's why I mean we're very pleased that to have George coming to Hong Kong to talk to the our audience, talk to our users.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, anyone want to add on something? Because Vincent already talked about the way to penetrate the market, all those things. Any idea from you guys?
Yeah, so we have a similar philosophy here in the UK. We're making the tutor available to schools, and we think that that's where there will be the maximum benefit. But we're also now very confident in terms of the tutor's performance. We've done controlled trials here in the UK. We've found that it's putting a grade to a grade and a half onto student performance in English, with ultimately quite low usage, only 2 or 3 hours immediately ahead of an exam. So there's this tremendous impact that we're able to have, which is thrilling. Obviously, to me, I'm a teacher at the end of the day. What I want to see is I want to see my students doing as well as possible. That's why I'm in the game. And Tom also, given his experience working on a voluntary basis for the Access project here in Britain, has exactly the same philosophy. We want the tutor to be delivering outcomes for students. And so being able to offer that now direct to parents, direct to students, is a really exciting development for us. And we hope, exactly as Vincent says, that it will give more people the opportunity to discover what the tutor is capable of quickly. Okay,
thank you. Tom, anything you want to add on?
I don't think so. They both said it very well. Yeah, it's we're definitely kind of learning as we go at how best to give this impact to the most amount of people.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so it's almost to the end of this conversation, but one more question. Actually, it may not be relevant to your roadmap or something like that, but I still need to ask about this one because actually I'm with so many friends or maybe so many organizations I'm supporting. The student or maybe even the elder, they need to special education needs. Okay, the SEN, you know about this one. Okay, so that's why they may not be easy for them to look on the screen or maybe on the book. It's very difficult for them to read or try to digest something. So nowadays, using the artificial intelligence, maybe there is a different kind of the way the sound to trigger or maybe stimulate the mindset too. So that's why it will be much more easier for them to learn something. Is there anything, any element you will add on your product, or you already doing some kind of research and then try to incorporate it into the AI tutor? Any idea you can share with us?
Yeah, Tom will talk through some of the features in a moment, but there are a host of accessibility features that mean that the tutoring is really very beneficial for students with special educational needs and disabilities. It can work as a reader, it can display the text, it can display the text accessibly, as we've discussed, for English as an additional language learners, as we would describe them here in the UK. It can provide subtitling in a range of languages, and ultimately it can understand students' strengths and weaknesses and teach to them already. We're quite excited here because we're in early discussions with a major screening company for special educational needs and disabilities here in the UK. And it's possible that a partnership there would enable us to incorporate SEND reports, so the screening reports produced by the companies, such that the tutor could fully understand the diagnosis, the needs, and teach even more effectively in support of such learners. So we're terribly excited about the fact that this type of technology could disproportionately benefit those learners who are in greatest need of assistance. And that's that's a really exciting opportunity for us to see how far we can develop the work that is already underway currently.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, and yeah, so just I guess some more on the kind of features that we provide that can be helpful there. As George has mentioned, Inkling delivers teaching in a few different modalities. It can talk with a voice like we're talking now, but it will also subtitle what it's saying. There's also modes that just display written text, so different students can use it in these various ways, and they can themselves control the pace of the teaching that we found is very beneficial for these students. Even with the voice mode, there's an option to allow the tutor to talk at a slower pace or a faster pace if that's what's more beneficial to the learner. Inkling can also display images and diagrams and talk through them. That is very helpful for visual learners. And at the end of the day, this technology and the aims by it of just delivering personal tutoring is what we strongly believe one of the best ways to help students with special educational needs. This is a category of students that is growing. The proportion of students with this needs is growing across the world, and often the education that they're getting through traditional means is just not best helping them. It's not bespoke to them and their needs. So being able to have a personal one-to-one tutor that can understand you as a student, your needs, what teaching works with you or doesn't work with you, overall, we feel is a fantastic way to help these students.
Yeah, thank you so much. So Vincent, if you have any kind of the so-called the arrangement, please let me know that, because I do have a very good connection with all those associations. They have the lots of the so-called the people. We really want to let them have a much better way to learn something, to less frustration, all those things. Make sure that you connect with me, so that's why I can give a helping hand.
Yes, thank you. And I want to just share a story, because in Hong Kong, as you know, the Inkling was developed in the UK, where English is the mother tongue, whereas in Hong Kong and in mainland, English is now mother tongue. And so even though we focus on subjects, and we find that students whose mother tongue is not English can actually build their confidence by speaking to an avatar. And we are so pleased that we have students coming back to us that they want to try more hours because they find it very satisfactory. And I think this, as a provider or as a parent, I think this is very encouraging, because students or the kids, they want to learn more. You don't have to push them, but they find it is useful. And I think this is how I find it, personally. So I think this project is really good. This AI tutor is great, and they can help a lot of students.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so I want to take this opportunity to thank you, three gentlemen, Vincent, Tom, and George, for your sharing to us. So that's why we have a chance to know more about the latest technology, and then what's the AI tutor can help the student, no matter in Hong Kong or other country as well. And we're looking forward to meet you guys. Okay, maybe later, Tom. Okay, but next week that should be the George and also the Vincent in the LTE, the biggest learning and teaching expo in Hong Kong. So there's a lot of the parent, the student, the so-called the practitioner, the teacher, everybody is over there. So that's why I have a chance to interact with each other, to share the best practices. So again, thank you so much, and then let's keep in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.